Welcome back, everyone, to the Nourished by Claudia channel. I am very excited to have one of my great and beautiful women here. Her name is Dori, and it's such a pity that you can't see her on the screen because she's beyond gorgeous, but I am also very biased because we spent 3 beautiful months together, and she's here today just to share her story of how she went from amenorrhea to having regular periods. But before I go ahead, welcome, Dori. How are you today?
Thank you, Claudia. Glad to be back. Feeling great. It's been like a busy day, but glad to end it up with you and share my story.
Thank you so much. And it's so crazy that for me, it's 5 o'clock in Sydney. And for you, Dori, I think that it's approximately 10 p.m. in Europe. So
9 p.m. Yeah, 9 p.m.
9
Exactly.
p.m. And we still
Yeah,
managed to connect and work together, which is sensational.
of course.
So,
Of course.
Dori, without further ado, would you like to tell us more about what happened in the past 3 years? How come that you didn't get a period for a few months and for a few years? Can you tell us a little bit more about your story so that other women can really relate to what
Yeah.
happened to you?
Of course. So I think just to say first that I've always had a regular period, and for like most of my life, even if I've been through the stressful situations or any physical effort given from my side or psychological, it never impacted my period. So I was never kind of worried on that subject until like 3 years ago. I think I was around 27 at that time. So I don't know. It was like a bunch of I don't know, and environmental stuff, physical stuff, a lot of things happening at that time. And I started exercising a lot. That was like the first thing that there was like a major difference in my life. And I also started eating less and counting calories at that time. When I first started doing that, it wasn't creating any uncomfortable feelings for me or any kind of discomfort or any kind of let's say stress on my body. I wasn't seeing it like any stress. I was just kind of getting into the fitness world more seriously, and I was really happy to just like give myself to exercising more and paying attention to the healthy way of living and so on. So after like 3 months of doing that, like heavy training and watching my calories, that was the first time when I lost my period. And I wasn't really sure what happened. It was gone for like 2 months. And I checked my hormones. My hormones were a bit off, but nothing serious. And I didn't pay much attention to it because it was the first time in my life that I had something irregular. So I just didn't pay too much attention, and it came back, and I had it for like a couple of months. Then I started to train CrossFit, which was like really high intensity. I had trainings like every day. I was also training yoga in parallel, and I was eating like the same amount of calories as before, but I was actually upping my trainings, which were a lot of high intensity, really heavy trainings, I would say. And that's when I started to actually get stressed about the way that I eat, in terms of, oh, I am training a bit different from before, so I need to watch my calories. That was kind of like the main thing in my head, and I was really stressed about it. I started to have like a really defined physique, and I started to identify myself with it. I think that was like the main point, and I got so caught up in that image that I was doing everything in my power to maintain it, but it came unsustainable in a way that it started to impact my mental health mostly. And I started to have like a really distorted image of my body, that if I eat a little bit more, if I eat when I'm out, if I eat with my friends, if I eat after a certain time, if I eat certain type of foods, everything could impact my image and, my defined physique. And, I'll not be who I am anymore. And that was going on for like a couple of months. And in those couple of months, I lost my period, of course, again. And I kind of knew it was because of that, but I said, okay, it will come back like the last time. I actually didn't do anything to improve or to gain it back at that time. I just kept going on with the same high intensity way of living life like I did as before, until all of that, like I don't know, in total like 11 months were when I didn't have my period altogether. And that's when I started to get like really serious about it, and I started to read about it. I got worried, to be honest, and that's when I found your videos. I was searching through YouTube. I was going through stories of other women who actually did all of this, went through all of this, but I didn't resonated with any of those as much as I did with you, to be honest. Everything that you said in all of your videos, it was so sincere, it was so pure and like straight to the point, where I kind of resonated with everything that you said in terms of I didn't want people to tell me stop exercising, because I knew that I couldn't do that. I was because the initial idea of me exercising was to feel better, and it actually makes me feel better, and I didn't want to stop to live my life the way I was living it. I just wanted to make some small adjustments and to wake up myself in a way so that I can gain my period back, gain my confidence back in my body, and just relax in a way, but not like flip my life altogether. So I think your approach was really what I needed at that point, because you started really like, small moves, really nothing serious, nothing too much. So we were making like small steps, and it was really basically what I needed at that time, because I know I was eating, I was not like never underweight in a way, because I was always consuming a lot of calories in my head to maintain the muscle mass that I had or anything, but I knew that I was not feeding my body the right way. I was not fueling my body in a way. So I knew that I had to make like really small improvements, but really impactful one that could really like just regain everything that I've lost over a couple of years, basically.
And Dori, may I ask you, how did you know that you were not feeding your body in the correct way? Apart from not having a period, was there anything else that, didn't click?
That's a great question. I was always craving food. Like I was eating meals, which were not like small meals. I have to say, I was eating like 4 to 5 times per day, but I was always hungry. I was always thinking what I'm gonna eat next, when I'm gonna eat next. I was so like I don't know, feeling sad if I don't know, if I don't reach my all of my meals during the day at home, if I have to eat out, or if I don't know, like break my routine in a way. Everything was impacting me so much, and now when I see it from this point of view, it's not ridiculous, but it's too much to sustain for any person, honestly. So I was giving so much pressure to myself at that point, and I knew that I was not feeling good going through all of that. I knew that it was not healthy for me to think about food all the time, and to be sad around food, to restrict myself so much when there was no point in doing that. I was already doing everything. I just needed to fuel my body. That was what my body was telling me all of the time. Just eat a bit more so we can be, on the same level. But yeah, I was just like kind of punishing my body in a way
Mm.
all of the time, like restricting, not eating, not giving like any piece of chocolate, any piece of anything regarded as unhealthy food. I don't like to put labels now. I don't even count calories anymore, but at that time everything was, under order, and it was too much to handle, to be honest.
Absolutely. And I remember that when we started working together, that was one of the first things that you disclosed, that you had this insatiable hunger, especially when it was the morning, like between 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock in the morning,
Yes, yes,
to the point
yes.
that it was disrupting your job as well, because you were constantly thinking about what else can I have, what else can I eat.
Exactly.
I'm
Exactly.
very curious, Dori, considering that you had the knowledge, right? You had tried to recover on your own, you had read everything about hypothalamic amenorrhea, you had my free videos. What made you book a call with me? What made you look for support? What were you missing at that point?
I think I was missing the push, because I
Mm.
was doing everything, but like I was doing it halfway. If you remember when we started talking, I was still doing 2 trainings per day. I was training fasted in the morning, and you were like, how do you think that you will get your period back if you have training in the evening, don't eat after training, then go to sleep, and then wake up and train fasted again? Like, that's too much. Like, that's, I don't know, like when I see it now, it's punishment, honestly. Like, nobody needs to do that, especially a woman that has lost her period for such a long time. Like, how can your body recover if you're not even giving it food after training? Like, it's out there. I just didn't see it. I just needed like the right guidance and someone to open my eyes and push me in a way, but not in a way that's too that would be too stressful for me, but something that I could accept, like at my own pace, which was what you did basically.
Fantastic. And tell me, Dori, what was the most difficult part for you, especially in the first month and a half of joining the period comeback protocol? What were a couple of things that really come up that you didn't know how to handle?
Well, first of all, I think we can all relate. It was the weight gain that
Mm.
I had to go through in a way. It was, what if I gain weight, but I don't get my period back? I think we all have these questions. Like, what if I made such a huge bad thing to my body that my body can never recover? Like, if I did like a huge damage to my body, and my body was so healthy like all my life, and look at what I did just because of, I don't know, some image that I had in my head. I was also like going through a lot of those thoughts, honestly, like how could I have damaged my body so much?
Mm.
And it was difficult because the first few months are like a game, you can never know if you're gonna get it back, if you're gonna get it consistent, if you're gaining weight, but to which extent, you have all of those questions. It's kind of like uncertain so much at the start, but and I think, at least for me, that was like the biggest point,
Mm.
which was, the most stressful thing, I think.
And you're right, so many women can actually relate to the fact
Yeah,
of being scared of gaining weight, but not only that, not knowing if the period is going to come back. Um,
exactly.
so curiosity, couple of things for you, Dori. Did you have to gain so much weight that you disliked your body completely?
No, honestly, no. Now when I look it back, it was like, to be honest, it was like 5 kilos, which I don't know in pounds how much is it, but in kilograms it was like 5 kilograms total. Like, that was the maximum that I had to gain. And honestly, like, speaking with all of the people around me, nobody noticed. Nobody said, "Oh my God, you have like 1 kilogram more than you did before." Nobody noticed. I just did. And even people were like my parents, for example, "Look at your face. You're like, you look fresh, you look, I don't know, more full of life." And they noticed those kinds of things, but they never said that something has changed with my body. Those were like the things that only I noticed. But I have to say, from my perspective, I think it helped that I always had an appetite. For example,
Mm.
I never stopped eating, even um, when I was having like HA. I was not eating enough, yes, for my energy needs, but I was still eating. Like, I was never eating less than 2,000 calories a day. Never, like never, because I always had a huge appetite. I love food. I just did it in a very restrictive way, which was not sustainable. But yeah, going through the first months of HA, I upped my calories to like 2,500, maybe even
Mhm.
more. Like, but it was around 200 and 2,500. So I think that helped a lot because I had like a higher calorie starting point for me. I was never like eating, I don't know, 1,500, like never. So to all of the women out there who are maybe wondering, I think that's also like a huge thing that everyone has to keep it in their heads. Per, look at your calories. You have to make them like a bigger number than they used to be. I mean, it's I think looking back, it's one of the it's like the first thing that helped me gain my period back. Like one more meal in my day, like one more cookie in the evening, not training fasted, like a couple of meals, smaller meals even, that you don't feel them like, oh, look at it, I'm getting fat, I'm gaining weight, whatever, but they're just like small meals that can fill your energy needs and make you feel like a huge difference. So food is really important, to be honest. And looking at this point back, I would never go back to eating less than I am right now. I just kept my calories, honestly, and I'm never going back.
And I also would like to clarify that you are coming from a place where you were already allowing yourself 2000 calories. Because for some women that start the HA recovery process,
Yeah.
whenever they see the number 2500, is completely out of their comfort zone because they're
Yeah.
possibly coming from a place of 1200 calories. But you
Yeah.
are absolutely right. It's not so much the number, it's about thinking, I need to get an extra meal. I need to have a cookie when it's time to go to sleep. It's not training fasted, and it's also specifically in your situation possibly not training twice a day and pushing your body to do
Exactly.
something that it's
Exactly.
not
The
ready to
next
do.
step. That's the next step that I did. So you told me, please don't do 2 trainings per day. Like, please, at least until you stabilize your period, do 1 training per day. Do like more types of training like yoga and Pilates, less gym or high intensity. And I always love that you never said to me, stop exercising. Like I could never done it. Like that was so bad for my mental health that I could have never done it. And I never stopped, to be honest. I am still exercising. I was back then, but I just lowered the intensity a bit. And I was resting much more, and I just basically didn't do 2 trainings per day. I was maybe stretching a bit. And even if I missed a training, I wasn't stressing myself like I did before. If I wanted to sleep in the morning, I would have slept. So those are like the few changes that I also did. I was trying to sleep. That's also like a huge thing, because before I was sleeping 4 to 5 hours.
Mhm.
And during my HA recovery in the first month, I was forcing myself to at least uh, be like 7 to 8 hours. I was forcing myself, like, don't wake up, let it be 8 hours of sleep. And that's a huge difference also that my body felt immediately, to be honest.
I cannot imagine you surviving on 5 hours of sleep and sandwich that between two trainings. That really
Yeah,
sounds
yeah,
like
like
torture right
that's
now.
torture. That's torture, like, to be honest. And I can survive now as well because I have very much energy. I'm that kind of person, but I realized you're not doing your body good. It's okay that you have the energy, but please, you need to sleep, you need to eat, you don't need to train 2 times per day, you know? So, yeah, those are like the non-negotiables that I had to redefine with myself.
Absolutely. And tell us, Dori, when did you get your period back? How long did it take you from the moment that we started working together?
I think we started working in December. It
And
was,
yeah,
right?
end of
Yes,
December,
and
I
I
think.
got it. Yes, end of December, and I got it end of January. I also have to say that due to some personal stuff, I didn't train for 2 weeks. I got a bit sick. So that was in like 2 weeks of not training and eating the same amount of calories, which was like, let's say, to 2,500 calories, but not training at all, laying in bed all day because I basically couldn't move. I was very sick. And even I was very sick, my immunity was very low, but the resting and the not training and the fueling your body for just 2 weeks, I felt a difference. And I think I remember we had like a meeting and I said, Claudia, I felt a difference in my body. Like, and I need to go to the gynecologist. And that was like the first time that my gynecologist said, your endometrium has actually got thick. It was never thick before, like it was 1 or 2 centimeters, like, or millimeters. I don't know how much it should be, but she said like this is the first time that it's too thick. That actually this means that you could be in ovulation. And I think I told you everything what she said, and you said you're gonna get your period next week because you're probably now in ovulation, and that's what happened. I just felt my body that it's going through a process that I didn't feel for like 1 year, maybe. And when that happened, I said to myself, this is the time that you need to push, like mentally, not exercise, not trying to force back after being sick, but like rest and sleep and trying to just relax. And yeah, it was hard. It was hard for me mentally, but yeah, I had to do it for the first 2 or 3 months until it stabilized.
And how long did it take you to get your second period back?
My second period was a bit longer. I remember it was 40 days, maybe, like from the first one. But I remember also talking to you, and you said that I shouldn't feel stressed about it. Usually, the second period can take maybe a bit longer because, your body is still going through something new. It needs time to get used to this new normal. So give it some time and don't give up on it. And I still had my ovulation. I still felt all of the symptoms. It was just a bit like the follicular phase, a bit longer than the first one. So that's what I noticed during these months, that for me, at least, it was hard to gain ovulation. When I gain the ovulation, then everything is, by the book. The luteal phase is all good. I have all of the symptoms that I should have, and then I get my period. But for me, it was, the problem of reaching ovulation, probably the support that my body needed for me to reach ovulation.
And I just wanted to clarify that because so many women are going to be listening to this video thinking,
Yeah.
yes, I got my first period back as well, but my second is not coming, or my second is 40 days. And I also would like to normalize the fact that sometimes the second period takes a little bit longer than the following periods, and that is absolutely okay. And once again, is an exercise in patience and self-compassion as well.
Exactly.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
Yeah, no worries. That was all. That was all. Like I just wanted to say that like everyone should not be stressed. Like if even if it doesn't come like on 28 days, it's gonna come. Just relax and do all of the things. I don't even stress about it anymore. Even if it comes on 30 days, 35, 28, it's here. And I'm just grateful for it. And I'm just, enjoying my life, trying to eat, trying to sleep, and that's all. It's gonna come, We just need to give it some time.
Absolutely, and that is a certainty. But sometimes when you're in the thick of it, and I also remember yourself, especially between your first and second, there were moments of vulnerability where you don't know
Yeah.
what's going to happen, and that's when we spoke the most. I think that you reached out to me a few
Mhm.
times, and we had a couple of meetings because there is that uncertainty. Am I broken? Have I done something wrong again?
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
yeah. Yeah, and the
Yes.
reality is that no, it's just the body that needs its time.
I
Um,
got you now when you said that question, have I done something wrong? That is something that I still think of it to this day. Like, am I doing something that could disrupt my period? It's still like a fear that I still have, but I'm trying not to pay too much attention to it, honestly.
Hmm. That's actually
Yeah.
very important questions though, because that's something that I've been using also for my own recovery journey. And whenever I found myself stuck in a situation, not for just one day or one time, but that something that happens on multiple days, I would always go back to the question, is this gonna help me to have regular periods and becoming the woman that I
Yeah.
wanna be? Or is this actually slowing down my pace? And when you answer to that questions with honesty, it's really hard not to unsee it, let's say.
Yes, yes, exactly, exactly.
Now, Dori, one last questions for the women that are going to be watching this video. If there is something that you can tell your younger self, or if there is something that you can share with women that are starting this journey, what would that thing be? What would you like to say?
I mean, I would start like from the most shallow perspective and say you're not gonna gain that much weight, and everything is gonna go back to normal. As soon as like the months go by, your body is gonna get used to it. Your body is gonna be happy. So you're not gonna gain the weight indefinitely. Like that's, like I said, that was kind of like my biggest fear. And now I love my body. Like I love that it's kind of getting more curvy even than before. I love that it's getting, fuller. It's looking healthier, and I'm just appreciative and grateful for that. So nothing will change that much on that note. So no worries about that. Like always fuel your body, and you will see that even if you give it too much, it's not gonna go to waste. It's just what your body needs it. So honor your cravings, honor your body. It's just what I mean, it's when I see it now, it's so simple, but I couldn't realize it. I thought I was giving it, but you need to push harder for like a couple of time, for like a couple of months. It's not gonna be that long. Your body will be so grateful afterwards. And I think we also need, as women, we need to realize that there is a time where we probably should not push that hard. We need to be, like you said, a little bit vulnerable, a little bit calm, a little bit easy on ourselves, and that's okay. Type into your feminine a bit when you're going through this AHA journey. Relax a bit, journal, trying to find your calmness. That helps a lot. Even if you're like a hectic person like me, energetic, and you cannot realize that concept, sometimes it really helps. And it's so beautiful when you find it and when you see how your body reacts to all of that. Like it's so beautiful.
This is so great, Dori. I really hope that some of the women, they're gonna just take the last bit of this video and they're gonna listen to it on repeat,
Yes,
because it
yes.
was so motivational, and I absolutely agree wholeheartedly. We don't have to push ourselves. We don't have to do all the things, and sometimes we can just simply be, and that's the
Yeah,
solution to live a long life.
exactly. And that doesn't define us. It's just for some time until your body can tap back into itself. Because we've honestly tortured it or punished it at some point, as cruel as it sounds, we didn't give it what it wanted. So we just need to step back a little bit and just enjoy.
Thank
That's
you
all.
so much, Dori. Thank you for sharing all of this
Of
with
course.
us. It has
Of
been
course.
an absolute pleasure, and I will see you in the future then. Thank you,
Thank you.
Dori.
Thank you for everything as well.
Thank you. Bye.